with Beard! Hey, podcast kittens, it's Cathy Cat and...
Ladybeard, what is going on, podcast world? Cathy Cat, how are you, darling?
I am great.
Yes.
And I welcome all of you guys
Yes.
to Cat with Beard.
Ah, yes, it's the adorablest cat the world has ever known. Listen, you take a cat. Now, are you a fan of cats?
I love cats.
Okay,
That's
you
why I'm
take
Cathy
a
Cat.
cat. You love the cats. Everyone's pro-cat. How do you improve the cuteness of a cat?
Beard.
Beard. Stick a beard on the cat.
Stick a beard on the cat.
That's what's going to improve the quality of this cat.
Also, if you say hige in Japanese, it also means whiskers.
Ah, so isn't it?
Beard has the double meaning for that as
of
well.
course. Look at this. You are an intellectual.
Oh, we're going to talk about how intellectual I am.
God, you are bringing the class to this operation. Ladybeard brings the filth and Cathy Cat brings the class.
Let's do it.
Oh my goodness. Welcome to the inaugural episode of Cat with Beard.
Episode 1.
We are here today to talk about all things Japan.
All things Japan.
Everything Japan.
And some things you guys can take away when you want to come to Japan and maybe become famous
Oh
and
my
known
God.
in Japan.
We are getting deep today.
Oh yes,
Cathy
you
Cat.
want to take notes, guys.
This is the real thing. Before we get into that kind of details, first, I would like to just get to know you.
Let's get to know each other.
Tell me about yourself, young Cathy Cat. This is not our first time meeting, but it's been a while.
It's been a while. So, name is Cathy Cat, mostly known on YouTube for doing videos about Japan, Japanese culture, street interviews, Japanese fashion, and more. Been on several channels, and the biggest known one is Ask Japanese, where we, guess what? We ask Japanese.
Aha! You made a very logical naming decision.
Oh, yes.
Very, very logical naming decision, I say.
Ask
Ask Japanese. That's your channel.
That's
fantastic.
most known for that one. I got the microphone
You got your microphone
here.
for it right here.
It's wonderful
Ask
with
Japanese.
the big red logo with the
Pretty
Japanese
cool.
flag.
Did
Ask
you
Japanese.
design
We
this?
had a designer make it for us. We
Huh?
actually asked our viewers to design it for us.
Really?
Yeah, and that's the
fantastic.
design that one, and we've been using it ever since. So thank you
fantastic.
so much,
My
you amazing
goodness.
creative people. Apart from that, what you can see, wearing always Harajuku fashion. It's kind of my GM. So
Which
the
is
same like
lovely.
you wearing cute fashion, I love cute fashion
Yes,
too. I
you
think
look
we're making a
fantastic.
good visual. You guys on the podcast unfortunately can't
That's
see
right.
it, but look, check out the pictures.
It's
gonna
an
be pictures.
aesthetic. Assuming both of us have clean teeth. I don't have anything in my teeth, do I?
I think they're safe, huh?
Good. No, you're doing
Too much
well.
green
All right,
tea? Okay,
good.
we're good.
No, you're
We're
all
good.
right.
We're good.
Good stuff. That's good. The aesthetics are important, people. Aesthetics are important, even where you're only on the sound. I can't speak English anymore. Are you having this problem? You lose the ability to speak your first language. You spend too much time speaking the other one.
Well, my first language is German, so I've been in the UK for quite some time, so that's where the English comes in. But I must say my English has changed. I used to have this wonderful posh British accent, and I lost my wonderful posh British accent because here in Japan, a lot of people speak American English. That's also what they teach in schools. But anyway, so English, German, Japanese are the 3 languages I speak, and you speak a lot more.
Yeah, but I don't know if you could really apply the verb speak to my language skills.
Why?
I'd say stumble through, blindly bumble my way through, let's say English, but I'm an Aussie, so take that as you may.
English.
So English, Japanese, but I'm pretty humble in my Japanese ability. I don't boast very much about that. Mandarin Chinese, and again, pretty humble on that one. And Cantonese, because I used to live in Hong Kong. And then incidentally German as well, because I learned German in school.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
And now, you, young lady, are from München, yeah?
München, yes. I'm
München.
actually tempted to test your German skills during this episode. I might just randomly say something in German and
All
see
right,
if you
we'll
pick it up.
All right, well, it will definitely be a test. Just letting you know, I haven't spoken German for 20 years. So let's see how well Ladybeard can pick up that ball, that bratwurst-flavored ball, potentially been dropped for the past 20 years, but we'll see how we go.
Okay, alles klar.
Alles klar, so als ich in der Schule war, bin ich mit einem Austausch in Deutschland gewohnt.
Oh my gosh, okay, you just said you went to school and you were there as an exchange.
That's
You're
right.
passing the very first German test
Excellent,
here.
thank you. That is excellent. Good, thank you very much.
okay.
So I lived close to you. I lived in Bayreuth.
Yeah, that's super close to me.
Very close. All
we
right.
could have hung out.
Bayern babies.
Yeah.
Ah, Bayern babies. All right.
Bayern babies, guys.
Bayern is, as I understand it, it's kind of the bit of Germany that the rest of the Germans make fun of.
It's pretty much, we are the south of Germany, and everything, all the stereotypes come from us. The Lederhosen, the beer festivals.
Yep.
But sausages you have everywhere. But like definitely the beer and the Lederhosen, that comes from us in the south.
But that stuff was all awesome. When we were there, we would go to the beer fest and everything. We'd eat the halbhähnchen. Eat our hähnchen and we drink our beer, our Rauchbier, and we had a great time.
See,
That's the best part.
I am reveling in that now.
Yes!
I am throwing like Oktoberfest live streams and stuff now.
Oh, yeah?
I'm like, come on, I can't have it here right now. Might as well make it up.
It's the best. It's the best. And the Japanese appreciate it very much as well.
They do. They do.
Yeah. We probably need to have a sip of fluid. Sorry, Ladybeard's gotten too excited already.
Fluid moment. I'll do that too. I'll do that for you.
I didn't bring a straw.
Oh, wild.
Do the old pour. Try not to ruin my lips. And up and down.
Whoa.
Ladybeard punched the microphone.
Sorry.
Now,
Violence.
you studied in the United Kingdom.
I did.
And you graduated with super duper PhD honors. Traveled to Mars.
No, yeah. Close. It's a master's in science fiction.
Do you actually have a master's in science fiction?
I have a master's in
Get
science
out of here.
fiction.
That's a real thing.
Do.
You have a master's in science fiction?
I have a master's in science fiction. I kid you not.
No.
I kid you not.
What? Stop.
It's a thing.
Stop.
Yeah, it
Which
is.
degree leads into a master's in science fiction?
Well, first I had like English with German, so it was English literature, creative writing, and similar things. And then everyone was taking a master's in Shakespeare and such. And I was like, you know what? Everyone does Shakespeare. How about I go for something completely different that's more down my alley? And it turned out that the University of Liverpool had at the time the biggest collection, they still have the biggest collection of science fiction books in the entirety of Europe.
Wow.
So they had a master's in science fiction. I signed up and I got it with honors.
Wow. A master's of science fiction.
I must say, I felt pretty cool when they call your name and then they say like masters in science fiction. You go on stage and you're like, yes, thank you.
I should call you Master Asimov or something like that, or Master Spock, something along those lines.
Oh, Master Asimov isn't bad. How about Ray Bradbury is one of my favorites.
Ray
though.
Bradbury.
The one who did Fahrenheit 451.
Oh, okay.
So
Fahrenheit 4, isn't that about 9/11?
no,
Oh, okay.
that's different. That's different. Right.
We haven't spoken about Japan one bit so far.
No, we have not. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Anyway, so let's go to you.
Hello.
So, Ladybeard, you
Hello.
are a pro wrestler
Yes.
and an idol.
Yes.
And
Yes.
a voice actor.
Yes.
And a stuntman.
Yes.
And a heavy metal screamer.
Yes.
And a J-pop singer.
Yes, I do all those things. I'll look down the camera and I'll introduce myself.
Do it.
Hello, my name's Ladybeard. I am an Australian cross-dressing pro wrestler and heavy metal singer, amongst other things just listed, currently based in Japan. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. That's right.
Wonderful.
I do all those things.
How do you get there? Like, first of all, we spoke about your languages, and there's also some Chinese in there. So there is a longer story there.
Yeah.
Why? Like, how do you get from Australia to be a model idol, stuntman, metal screamer, everything here?
First things first, of course, I got my master's in science fiction. But after completing that, I went through I went through acting school in Australia, and I became an actor, and I trained in Australia with an Aussie who had been on Jackie Chan's stunt team.
Jackie Chan's stunt team.
Yeah, because I was a martial artist for many years as well.
Holy moly.
So trained with him. That was hard training. At some point, he said, you should go to Hong Kong. So I went to Hong Kong, and I lived in Hong Kong for 6 years, and I did stunts and whatnot, stunts and acting and voice acting in Hong Kong action movies and so forth, and TV and what have you. And then at some point, that 2008 financial crisis came along and wiped everything I built out overnight. So that was joyous. And so then I became a professional cross-dresser, and I debuted my professional cross-dressing career in the pro wrestling ring, because I had started pro wrestling when I was in Hong Kong. And then I started my heavy metal career, so I essentially brought everything from wrestling over to my heavy metal career, and those things then existed in duality up to this point.
Wow. That is quite a path you've come with.
Oh, thank you very much.
Holy.
That's why I speak Cantonese, because I lived in Hong Kong for 6 years.
How was it to work with the stunt team?
Oh, it's very hard.
Yeah,
It's very hard.
My image is that you have to be like still in your teens to be flexible enough to do all those moves.
Being youthful and being able to bounce is very helpful, because there's a lot of being thrown off things. So being able to bounce is very helpful. But it comes down to there's a lot of here's a thing that every instinct in your body is telling you not to do. Do it. Yeah.
Oh, man.
There's a lot of that. So the Hong Kong, I was told by my trainer, the Hong Kong Stuntman Association, when he was in it, their slogan was "Risk life, save money." So that's the kind of standards you're dealing with.
Oh, damn. What was the worst injury you ever had?
Oh, worst injury. Actually, my really bad ones came from pro wrestling because of the ring in pro wrestling is bouncy, right? And so for certain things, that's very helpful. But for other things, you need to get used to the bounce. And the bounce can actually be quite dangerous. Like I found on things like my ankles and so forth. If you're not used to landing on something and have the floor go ga-gung underneath you, that can actually mess you up quite a lot if you're used to landing on something that's solid, you know? So actually, most of my really severe injuries came from either pro wrestling or from gymnastics training, incidentally. Because again, you got the bouncy floor. The bouncy floor, I found...
So the bouncy floor is more dangerous than Jackie Chan's stunt team.
Oh, look, I'm not sure if I'm going to make these kinds of outlandish claims. There could be a whole team of stuntmen at my door tomorrow morning if I make claims like this.
Not.
But listen, Ladybeard's personal experience. The danger of a bouncy floor cannot be underestimated. So next time you're going to jump up and down, check the surface before you do so, because you never know what surprises await on a floor bounce.
All right. Okay. Okay. So right now, do you still do stunts, or do you mainly focus
I haven't for a long time. I still can. But I've been doing pro wrestling as my focused physical thing for quite a while now.
So what are you doing currently? What's like the thing you're up with?
Currently, I'm involved in a... this is actually quite awesome. There's this... project in Japan that I'm involved in called Makai, which is a crossover of pro wrestling, live theater, and live music. And so basically, here's an approximation of the story. The ghosts of dead samurai fight demons in a parallel universe to maintain the balance of good and evil on Earth. And everybody's character is based upon historical figures. And we take the ropes off the ring, and everyone fights with gigantic weapons.
That sounds fun.
It's pretty awesome.
Holy moly! All right, well, currently I can't hold with that.
Oh no! Come on now! Hey!
But
Ms. Master of Science Fiction.
Master of Science Fiction is also doing something else. Actually,
what's
I
that?
forgot to mention that. I am also on NHK World. And I have my own program, which is called Japan Railway Journal.
Oh, I didn't realize you were doing that.
Yeah.
That's you.
That's me. And they're letting me wear more and more of my fashion recently, too. And we're talking about the great things of Japanese railway, which is actually very, very unique. They're not just fast and on time and reliable. There's so much more. So actually, I just came from a shoot with them today.
Oh, did you really?
So, yeah.
So you were on a train today?
We were doing the studio part of it, but I was on a very luxurious train for it.
Really?
So, yes. There's a lot of good journeys I'm allowed to
I
go
caught
on.
the first class train once from here to a place whose name I can't remember, but it starts with a K and they have a lot of crabs there. Kagawa, maybe? I can't remember. Anyway, it was very nice on the first class
you
train.
kind of forget that you're not like you're on a train, but actually you feel like you're in a hotel.
It's very nice.
Yes.
It's very pleasant.
Right.
That's fantastic you do the NHK Railway Journeys.
Japan Railway Journal, yeah.
Look at this!
Thursdays.
Look at this! Hey kids, this is where a master's in science fiction gets you. Hey, for those of you who want to appear on Japanese TV, that's the way to do it.
Get a master's in science fiction.
Right.
But we're actually going to give you some pointers of how to become famous in Japan
Yes!
a little bit later. But before
right.
that, I just must admire your wonderful dress.
Oh, God bless. Thank you very much.
I love the way you dress. I love
Thank you.
that
It's
you're
a kind thing to
And
say.
it actually says on your apron, does it say your name?
It does say my name.
It says
The
your
reason
name
you can see there it says Ladybeard. The reason it says Ladybeard is because my name is Ladybeard and I am wearing this and it's mine. That's why it has my name written on it.
Should I have like my name somewhere on
Yeah,
my
of course. I'm
dress?
surprised you don't already.
Here's like get Cathy Cat on all my dresses
Hell
now.
yeah, you can have across the back like you're in a roller derby team.
Ooh, just get like a little apron that always says Cathy Cat.
Yeah, that'd be
Actually, I
awesome.
like that. It's cute.
If we pronounce your name with Irish accents, it'd be Cathy Cat,
Cathy Cat.
which would be quite cool.
Go for German. This is the Cathy Cat. Welcome to the
Hier
program.
kommt Cathy Cat und willkommen!
Ja, wunderbar.
Heute haben wir ein bisschen Roller Derby.
Oh, sehr schön, sehr schön. Sorry, guys, if you didn't get that. Ignore the German.
No, don't ignore it. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's breathtaking. So listen.
Yes.
Look, tell you what. We are here today to discuss some serious business.
Business.
Cathy Cat. We are here. If you turned up on this podcast today thinking it might just be a frivolous chat between two foreigners doing show business stuff in Japan, you're vastly mistaken. We have got some incredible in-depth insight for you into the amazing world of Japanese show business. Now, Cathy Cat, okay, stop. How does one go from frickin' science fiction to now I'm a TV presenter in Japan?
Okay, my little journey, it started all with YouTube. For me, YouTube was the platform to start everything off. I started with YouTube. From cosplay, I very quickly went to Japanese fashion, which is the Harajuku fashion that I'm now known for and kind of stand out in the crowd a little bit with. And with that one, I came over here. And to be honest, I think one of the points was working hard. Be consistent, consistently create content, bring that out, introduce Japan, but still stay true to my niche, which is the fashion. And then on top of that, look around, go to fashion events, collaborate, get to meet people. And due to that, I managed to be part in the future, or like after that, switched over to Ask Japanese, where I became the reporter, started interviewing people on the streets, and it all goes from there. So it is kind of pick what you love doing, and that's why my channel motto is do what you love and love what you do. Keep doing it consistently, and hustle, work hard. And I think that's something that anyone who wants to make it big in Japan can apply. Like, what is your niche? What do you love doing? And then hustle, like work hard, be consistent. Don't just go Netflix and chill, which is great. Don't get me wrong. But you also need to find that moment when you're kind of like, okay, it is the weekend and I'd rather just sit, but I'm going to create some content.
So you pretty much DIY'd your career from the ground up.
Yeah, from the ground up, absolutely from zero. It was literally consistently YouTube, collaborate YouTube, make collabs with other creators and such. And then I just keep creating content regularly and grow that community. My channel is now 10 years old.
Oh, wow.
I've been 10 years on YouTube. When I started YouTube, I had this wonderful British accent and brown, like long brown hair, fluffy brown hair. And you could see that kind of, it's almost like right now, YouTube has become like a diary of my life because I don't delete old videos. Everything stays up. And some people make it very pretty and branded and have that perfectly up there. But my Cathy Cat channel is more like, this is me. This is the story. What you see is what you get. And I think that's what people enjoy.
That's lovely.
Yeah, so that's kind of like how fashion became a big part of my channel, but it's also the part of like self-expression, creative freedom that I find very attractive, and it keeps me going. Like I love motivating other people to say, wear what you want to wear. You don't care what people say and just keep at it. And here in Japan, I think you can wear the fashion in public without getting into trouble. That's you know what I mean. I'm 100% sure you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Which really
depends how you define trouble, I suppose.
Yeah.
If you are into the idea of taking a lot of photos with a lot of people for a great amount of time, you can definitely achieve that quite easily.
You definitely get a lot of people to take pictures of you, but you don't get people who go like, "Oh my god, what are you wearing?"
There's very little assault.
Yeah,
which is great.
Which is
good. Great.
It's live and let live here in Japan.
Which is wonderful, actually. That's one of the great things about the place.
Yeah,
actually.
definitely.
And you were into the fashion before you came to Japan.
I was into the fashion before I came.
You are 100% correct about hustling. That is, I think particularly for show business. In this generation, when it's all internets and algorithms, I think, if you're interested in a show business career, that is the way to do it in this day and age. Yeah.
A lot of people, like, I keep getting messages like, how did you get there? How did you get famous? And I'm pretty much saying, look, you need to first work on yourself, create your own followage. If you... oh, bless your soul.
Sorry.
Some water.
Aha! Ladybeard's struggling with life. Sorry, just remember what you're saying. Okay,
get the water. Come on.
That was pretty bad, wasn't it? You were mid-sentence when I cut you off with... I'm sorry.
I chucked that water.
As you were saying.
I totally... hold on, where was I?
Hustling, very important.
Hustling is important.
Yeah, algorithms,
yes. Yeah, a lot of people ask me, how did you get there, or how can I get there? And it's generally, you need to build yourself up. You can't just like walk into any place and say, hey, I would like to be this or that. It's always better if you already work at yourself, have, for example, a followage on Instagram or maybe TikTok or YouTube, whatever the platform is that works for you. Bring that followage, show it, and it's almost like a business card saying, look, I have this much content, this is what I can do, show me the way. And then people will recognize that.
And I would say as well, it's quite important to know what you're trying to achieve and why you're trying to achieve it. Because I see a lot of people turn up and they will do things like they'll say, all right, I'm going to start the YouTube, or I'm going to start the podcast, or I'm going to move to Japan and I'm going to have a crack. And then they arrive and they don't really know what they're trying to achieve.
I think consistency is like the big word in my case, because a lot of people say, like, I'll do this, and then they put up 2 videos, and then they don't continue. So until you actually consistent and have a plan with it, it might not take you anywhere. And don't expect 100,000 followers to come from 2 or 3 videos or 2 or 3. It might work on TikTok, don't get me wrong. A couple of people have like 2 or 3 TikToks and they just go viral. That's great. That's the platform for that. But YouTube generally can be a very slow grind. It might take a year or 2 for anything to kick off there. Instagram, same thing. The algorithm has changed again. Maybe if you're doing reels, again, you might get a lot of views, but not the followers. It is being patient and being consistent. And then that's a good card. But if you have extra skills like you have, I think that's a different story now, isn't it?
Well, I mean, like I think the YouTube and the TikTok and all of these things are they're but a platform upon which you demonstrate what you're doing.
Yeah, they're like your business card.
Well, that's right, yeah. And, one of the joys of it is you can do it all yourself. You don't need, there are fewer gatekeepers left nowadays, so you can go and do all of it yourself. But, I mean, for instance, for something like pro wrestling, you can't really be a pro wrestler on YouTube because you need the infrastructure of a pro wrestling company. You need rings and you need announcers and you need referees and you need an entire establishment. Now you can create your own wrestling company from scratch and do that, more easily nowadays than you potentially could in the past. But you are 100% correct. It is a slow grind, and like I was saying, I think the most important thing is to know what you're trying to achieve, because like you say, you can go viral on the TikTok after a couple of videos, but okay, so now what?
What do you do with it is a good point. Like, how do you take it from there? What I find really interesting is, for me, is like, I need the platforms. As an influencer, I need the platforms. For you, the platforms are like a plus alpha, right?
Well, it's a platform. It's a place in which I put do the things, and you show it to the world on the platform,
So you were actually in a documentary, I heard.
Yes, that's right. Yes, Big in Japan. Yes.
What did they pick up from your life? How was that?
That was good. That was back when I had first gotten to Japan. So that was back in 2014 or so. So it was a while ago now. But this documentary, Big in Japan, you can watch it if you want. I think it's on the Amazon. You go look at the Amazon Prime. I think it's on there. It was on the airplane at one point. I think it was on.
Sweet.
Yeah, Japan Airlines or something. So it was an Aussie documentary. These 3 Aussie kids, they came to Japan and they kind of chronicled for a little while, for a year or so, the lives of these 3 foreigners who were doing the show business thing in Japan. There was me, there was a Canadian girl called Kelsey, who was an idol, and there was the one and only Bob Sapp. You know all about Bob Sapp, yeah? No! Oh my goodness, really?
Oh gosh,
you don't know Bob Sapp?
Oh damn, what does he do?
Hang on just a second now. Hang on, Ladybeard's looking out the studio window. This girl doesn't know Bob Sapp. Wait just a second now.
What did he do?
Wait just a second.
I have no idea.
Bob Sapp is the Mac Daddy of famous foreigners in Japan.
Bob?
The Beast? Gigantic black man, pro wrestler, kickboxer. Oh, Bob Sapp, the Beast.
I'm so sorry. I don't.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, it brings me to, I don't have a Japanese TV. I don't. Oh no, everyone
Ladies
was shaking their heads.
That's all we have time for today on Cat with Beard. Thank you for joining us until this unfortunate incident has derailed the entire operation.
Hold on. Can I Google this?
Bob is Mac Daddy. Okay, please.
I'm not a name person, so if I see the face, I'm sure.
Well, see, now you've got an out, don't you? Because now you can see him and go, oh, yeah, this guy. Now you're totally...
Hold on, wait, Bob?
But you can't even spell it. Sapp. S-A-P-P.
B-O-B-S-A-P? A double P.
Yes. It's 2 P's. The Beast is one of his other monikers.
Oh my gosh. This is going to be so... Oh, okay. Of course.
See, but now that's your out. That's your out.
Yeah,
you can say of course with whatever comes up on this screen now. You are very cheeky.
Mostly fighting in Japan. I didn't have him down as mostly in Japan, to be honest. For me, that was just America, but... What? All right. What? Robert Malcolm Sapp.
But Bob's been on TV a great amount, and he's been famous in Japan for a good 20 years or something now. He first got famous here in the late 90s, I think.
Wow.
Bob Sapp, for those who don't know, Bob Sapp is an African-American gentleman. He was in the NFL playing the old American footsie ballies, and then he came to Japan. He became famous in Japan. He was a kickboxer and a pro wrestler, and he became very famous in Japan. But one of the interesting things about him is from a Japanese perspective. So he's a gigantic man. He's like 7 feet tall. He's like 350 pounds. He's this gigantic, muscle-jacked psychopath, right?
Yes.
However, aesthetically, from a Japanese standpoint, he's very, very cute. So, despite having these giant, I don't know, giant muscles and so forth, but they're kind of round and soft looking, and his face is this, it's sort of like a gigantic, muscular baby.
I think it's the gyapumoe that Japanese people like a lot. Someone who looks very like strong and intimidating, but actually has like a really gentle smile or eats like a cute pink ice cream. They call it like the gap cuteness. Gyapumoe. And I think that's definitely what he brings to the table.
I think you're probably right. He's done plenty of that kind of thing.
So that was in your documentary. Coming back
that's right. So they followed Bob and they followed me and they followed Kelsey. And followed both of us, all three of us, for about a year. And it's a very interesting documentary. And then one of the documentary makers, he goes through a journey trying to become famous in Japan himself.
Right. So, Simfer, now to the topic, famous in Japan. What kind of personality gets famous in Japan?
Well, okay, so we're kind of personality. I think it's much more a case of, rather than specifically a personality type or this kind of person or that kind of person or whatever, it's who can successfully capture the imagination of the locals. I think that is what it comes down to. And now Japan being the unique country that it is,
yes,
and the Japanese having the unique tastes that they do in comparison with general populations of many other countries, to capture the imagination of the Japanese is quite the thing.
Capture the imagination, what do you mean?
Well, okay, so for instance, Bob, like I say, he's this gigantic, muscle-jacked maniac. He was a very good kickboxer back in the day. He knocked out, several champions and so forth. But at the same time, he's all super cute and adorable when he smiles and whatnot, right? So to that end, he's sort of like, he's like a real-life Sanrio character, you know?
Ah, okay, yeah.
So to that end, he successfully captured the imagination of the Japanese populace.
I think in Japan, they like doing a lot is like have a person as a character.
Yeah,
like you are a character, and if they need a certain character, they fit you into that. Like, okay, we need for this program, we need someone who is funny but has also this, or funny and also foreign, or funny and this and this. Sometimes it seems like you need to make it really big. You need to like be a rounded character that people can use, and you need to be very good at talking.
Yeah. That's so. Yeah, get your Japanese skills as good as you possibly can before you come.
Yeah, you don't just expect to go by with broken Japanese. You should have a certain level of Japanese should be there. Especially nowadays, like the new generation who's starting now, they're perfect in every aspect. They look good, they speak good, so you really need to, you can't just go like, no, it's going to be fine. You need to kind of bring something to the table. But, and that's one of the things, I'm not sure if you noticed that, but people do like it when you have an accent or similar things like that.
In Japanese?
In Japanese. Like a little bit of an accent is like, oh, it's kind of cute.
Okay, I can appreciate that. Yeah.
If it's the same thing, like if I had like a little bit of a German accent, if I brought a little bit of the German accent in.
Yes, it's good, it's appealing.
It would be, like, it's just the little charm when someone has an accent, right?
Of course.
I think people like that.
No, I think you're right.
Don't lose your accent necessarily.
I think that helps very much. Yeah, but it's okay. So now with your Japanese, I will admit I got here, my Japanese level was extremely poor. And frankly, it's still not very good. So you think if you want to be in Japan and doing kind of like mainstream level show business, what level of Japanese would you recommend people get themselves to before they arrive?
Before they arrive, I mean, I think a lot of things you're gonna learn once you get here. Like it's rare for someone to touch down here and go straight into business anyways. It's really hard to get a visa in entertainment industry as well. So a lot of people will touch down here and do a year of normal work and then, get used to the way people are here, because there's a lot of things, even if your Japanese is perfect language-wise, there's a lot of nuances between people that you'll need to know to make it big in the show business, because the show business can be one of the hardest businesses to work in Japan with the hierarchies. That's maybe hierarchies and stuff might be a topic I might discuss in a future episode because
hierarchy. Stick around. Let's keep them on the hook. That's what we'll do. Stick around for episode XYZ in the future when we'll talk about Japanese business norms and the hierarchy and power structures of Japanese showbiz. That's gonna be an episode. My God! All right. Yeah, I think you are correct, and I think one of the other things that you probably won't necessarily really start getting your head around until you're actually in Japan is there's
be here for a while.
Japanese language. So what you said about getting to Japan, doing something else before you get into your show business career. I also recommend that. If you can get that to happen with your visa and so forth, I would also recommend that. There's the Japanese language, and then there's the way the Japanese communicate.
Exactly. That is a whole new thing. It can be saying, ask me the same question twice. Ask me something in Japanese.
Cathy Cat, would you like to drink some water?
And ask me one more time.
Cathy Cat, would you like to drink some water?
And the second one is like, no, but I'm saying yes for you, kind of.
There's a lot of that. It's a lot of kuki yobimasu.
Yes, you have to read the room like crazy. And that skill, I think, it's not something you can find in textbook. You have to learn that as you go along. So that's part of it as well, especially in the entertainment industry. If people tell you daijoubu, it's okay. It might not be.
It's not okay. It's never okay. Assume it's never okay. Assume whatever happened, you were wrong.
There's a lot of little things like that.
It's like being married, isn't it? No! My goodness, what do you reckon? Where we are at this time? Are we looking at wrapping it up? Or are we looking at heading into episode 2?
I mean, there is more we want to tell you. There's more we want to tell you, but we should tell you this in episode 2.
Yes, that'll keep you coming back for more.
Running a little bit out of time here.
That'll keep you coming back for more. That's called marketing. That's called creating a long-term plan. That's called keeping you interested. Until next time, Cathy, before we get out of here, tell the people where they can find you.
Is there anything, guys, you would like to ask us or pick up in our podcast? We can do that. So, at Cat with Beard in Japan, you're more than welcome to send us your messages.
Yes!
So please send us your thoughts or what you think, something weird, interesting, fascinating about Japan you would like us to pick up next at nippon@joqr.net.
Oh, that's good. You had an email address
nippon@joqr.net. And is there anything else you would like people to know, Ladybeard?
You can head on down to the internet and you can follow Ladybeard at Ladybeard_Japan at all the places. And you can also follow my pop group, Babybeard_Japan. It's a Ladybeard plus 2 babies. That's the thing, Babybeard. Babybeard_Japan. It's very easy to remember. See you there. Cathy, where can people find you on the internet?
Find me on the internet. Type in Cathy Cat. You'll find me there. You can find it in Cathy Cat _ TV or Ask Japanese or Japan Railway Journal. Find me there too.
With C's, not K's.
With the C, 2 C's. Cathy Cat with 2 C's, please. None of that K stuff.
Yeah, right.
None of that.
Greek letters.
Oh, no. C is all the way. So, guys, see you next time on Cat with Beard.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Tschüss.